As he was watching the sleeping girl, suddenly a large group of FBI agents burst through the door, pinning him to the ground. Soon after, the police found a large cache of contraband and weapons in his home. This meant he would be facing serious criminal charges, but he showed no signs of panic. Confidently, he waited for his father to pull some strings and get him out. However, in order to protect the family's interests, his father struck a deal with the prosecutor, agreeing to let him plead guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence of 4 years. The sudden blow was hard for him to accept, but under his father's insistence, he chose to accept the plea agreement. During sentencing, he calmly admitted to his crimes, yet the judge believed he had possessed the heavy weapons to protect his contraband. According to sentencing guidelines, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. It was only then that he realized both he and his father had been deceived by the prosecutor. 7 months into his sentence, a prison guard suddenly took him to the infirmary. Waiting inside were the very prosecutor who had tricked him and a woman. The female agent had discovered that he was doing surprisingly well in prison, building good relationships with all the major gangs, and even running a side business renting out adult magazines. They had taken notice of his ability to get along with anyone. They wanted to make a deal with him, transfer to another prison and get close to a serial killer, extract the location of a hidden body. They suspected the killer had murdered 14 young girls, but the police had only found one victim. They needed to find the other bodies to formally convict him. However, the prison housing the serial killer was a hellish institution, reserved for the criminally insane. He flatly refused their request, but the female agent offered a deal. Find the location of the bodies, and the remaining 9 years and 3 months of his sentence would be wiped clean. Still, he didn't agree. The agent urged him to think carefully and not waste this opportunity. She left him a file on the killer, so he could take his time and reconsider. Back in his cell, he couldn't help but open the file. What he read in the case records left him utterly shocked.